Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Dale Center here on YouTube. I want to go ahead and apologize ahead of time. This is probably going to feel like a semi half-assed edition of Dale Center. I've had some crazy food poisoning the last like 12 hours ish in that window. So at the time of me recording this is late Thursday night. I'm going to bet most of this, if not all of this, in the morning of Friday. I'm trying to get rested up, go to Atlanta. Not feeling phenomenal right now, but it doesn't stop the bet. So I want to make sure that before I head to ATL, going to my first Braves game on Friday night, going to the Cup race on Saturday night. Hope to see a bunch of you guys out there in ATL. I want to make sure that we do run through what I'm going to be betting on, what to look at for a triple header weekend. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series at Lime Rock Park. I'm so excited for this on Saturday afternoon. And then Xfinity and Cup at Atlanta Motor Speedway behind me. Not Atlanta anymore, EchoPark. EchoPark Speedway is what it's called. You can still call it Atlanta Motor Speedway though, if you'd like. It's gonna be tough to get rid of. I know it's a sponsor thing now. It doesn't quite roll off the tongue the way you'd want it to. Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to get rid of that. So if you want to keep calling it Atlanta Motor Speedway, go ahead. But it's EchoPark now. Anywho, this is going to be a shorter episode. I'm just trying to get like hydrated, feeling a lot better. I feel terrible, but we gotta roll with this. The show goes on. So let's go ahead and talk about trucks. Lime Rock Park. I think Corey Heim is going to smoke the field. You know, it's best to keep it simple. Lime Rock Park, the course is like a 1.5, like 1.4 something, basically a 1.5 mile configuration. I've run it on iRacing. It's very fun. It's a fantastic road course. Books all have odds. There's been some good big movement on Brent Cruz, who's like he's like 17 18 years old dude who has some Trans Am experience. He's been very good in ARCA. Best line on him, I think it's the perfect place to start because I've seen some drastic movement. He's 8-1 over on BetMGM. He's not even listed on DraftKings Sportsbook. I don't know why. He's not even listed on DraftKings. It's like they don't even know he's racing. FanDuel still 17-1. I'm not buying it at this particular time. You've got a field of several road ringers in this race. You have Cam Waters, a supercar driver who has limited NASCAR experience. If you remember, he raced at Sonoma 2024. And he's had a few truck starts on ovals that didn't go super well in this same equipment, in the number 66 truck for Thor Sport Racing. So Cam Waters is interesting, 13-1 over on FanDuel. Again, another one of the best lines I've seen, or that has at least remained. 12-1 over on BetMGM. Most of the movement I've seen has been with Brent Cruz, but I don't think I'm going to buy it at this particular time. Brent Cruz is in the Tricon truck, number one, the all-star truck. I just think that, you know, the way I opened up with this, yeah, the road ringers, their numbers are very, they stick out, right? They stick out big time. Jordan Taylor plus 650 over on FanDuel. You get Cam Waters. You have Josh Bilicki in a niche truck, 30-1 over on DraftKings Sportsbook, 29-1 over on FanDuel. Thomas Annunziata, a kid that I think is going to be a threat if he's in good equipment. He's probably going to be in the betting card in some capacity because he's 40-1 outright in a Spire truck. Another guy with Trans Am background. He's had Xfinity races where he has overperformed in not so great equipment in what I've seen. I think Annunziata, one to watch, could run in the top 10 all day. Love his top 5 on DraftKings plus 450. So I'm looking at Annunziata. You got another road course guy named Wesley Slimp. I don't know a lot about him. Alex LeBay is in this race. Wesley Slimp is in a Stuart Friesen truck, the number 62, which is interesting. So you have all these road ringers, and based upon the movement, BetMGM is the best place to kind of read this because they're so sensitive to bets. It's crazy how sensitive they are, and I think we've talked about it a few times throughout the year. You see all their lines starting to shorten up and shrink as the week has progressed, and I just feel like we're kind of missing the point here that Corey Heim has absolutely dominated on road courses before. He knows this truck. Cam Waters, Jordan Taylor, Thomas Annunziata, Josh Bilicki, these guys do not have great experience with the Craftsman truck, and it is a new track for everybody. They get the SVG type of advantage going to a track, Lime Rock, where none of these guys have been. Well, a few of them have been in Trans Am stuff, like Brent Cruz, Annunziata, Connor Mozak, a name to keep an eye on. They've got, some of these guys have experience at this course, but Corey Heim has come to road courses and dominated before. Corey Heim has road course experience in the Craftsman Truck Series. He's in the best truck. And one thing to note here, the stages for this race go 35, 35, 30 at a 1.4 mile track, which tells me, if you do the math there, Michigan is a 2 mile track. The fuel window was 36 to 39 laps. So if the fuel window at a 2 mile track is 36 to 39, I'm assuming out the gate that you are not going to have to pit under a yellow flag condition, right? So what's going to happen is if you're battling for the win, there is no reason you should not flip the stages, aka Corey Heim. 35 laps in stage 1, you're going to pit right before the end of the stage, flip the stage. 35 laps in stage 2, you're going to pit right before the end of the stage, flip the stage. And then 30 laps in stage 3. The final stage is actually shorter. So my point here is there is a huge chance in my mind that Corey Heim smokes the field. You don't have to pit. You do not have to pit under yellow. You're only pitting under green when you have potential to have a huge lead. So I think there's a great chance Corey Heim just fucking dominates this race. Plus 135 on BetMGM. You like betting even money, plus whatever on, or plus 100, plus 150 on any driver in any series. I hate it. But in this spot, everybody's talking about all these road ringers, and I'm just like, man, I kind of just want to put the house on Corey Heim. I feel like if he survives the restarts, he's gonna smoke him today, man. He's gonna smoke him. But if he doesn't, I'm kind of TBD on this entire thing. I'm not exactly sure where my units are gonna fall, but if he doesn't, I really like Connor Mozak. Connor Mozak knows the truck. He's got good road course experience. He has raced at Lime Rock before with a road course Trans Am background that a few of these other guys have. But Mozak now full-time and great equipment with McAnally Hilgeman. He's been a pretty decent qualifier multiple times throughout the year, and he's 21-1 over on FanDuel Sportsbook. I think Connor Mozak is gonna have a great day. I do. 2-1 for a top 5 on DraftKings. Maybe a little on the pricier side, considering he's like 16th in points. He hasn't done a lot this year, but keep in mind, we've seen it multiple times recently and at these road courses. Drivers going for stage points, ruining their late race strategy. And I think if you look at the playoff bubble, Connor Mozak could be worth bets today, considering his position, because he's like 130 points out of the cut line to make the playoffs for the Craftsman Truck Series. That is way too many points to overcome by not flipping the stage, by getting a stage point here and a stage point there. Ain't gonna happen. So I would expect that if they are in contention, they will flip the stage. It would make no sense for them to stay out and try to get stage points, given their point position. I think that helps someone like a Connor Mozak. It's not good for someone like a Ty Majeski, like a Caden Honeycutt, like a Grant Enfinger, guys that have not won and are in that playoff picture. So keep that in mind as well. Check the playoff standings. The drivers I feel like that are not in great point positions, but close enough that they feel like they could point their way in with only several weeks before the playoffs actually begin in the Craftsman Truck Series, or just a few races rather than just several weeks, because there's less races on the schedule. Playoffs will be here before you know it. Drivers that are in semi-close positions to make the playoffs, they could have their strategy ruined by chasing stage points, which I just cannot stand. And I'm sure at some point it's impacted you as well when you've bet on drivers at road courses. So keep that in mind. I think Connor Mozak is probably my favorite long shot. 2-1 for a top 5 on DraftKings. 4.5-1 for a top 3. I love Thomas Annunziata. I love taking a stab at his top 5 at plus 450. That could be worth a unit, maybe a unit and a half. I'm pretty confident in this guy. Top 3, 10-1, maybe worth a sprinkle, along with his 40-1 outright over on FanDuel. Tyler Ankrum, I'm like, man, I'm on the fence on Tyler Ankrum because he's been a pretty good road course racer. They've got a win in the bag. You kind of feel like maybe they could have an edge this weekend, at least versus most of the truck regulars. But like I said, you got Jordan Taylor, Cam Waters, Josh Bilicki, Thomas Annunziata. I mean, you've got several road course guys that on paper you think, yeah, they're going to smoke these guys. But when you really think about it, Corey Heim, I think, is going to smoke all these guys. So might be worth a big time max bet before I head out of here. So TBD, check that out. I'll have all my bets posted on Dub Club tomorrow morning, Friday morning, maybe around whatever time this launches. I'll try to sync it up. So keep that in mind. I think I'm going to go with Corey Heim, Hammer, and then some props on Annunziata, Mosak, and we'll see what else for the Craftsman Truck Series at Lime Rock Park. Moving on to the Xfinity Series at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Fuck, I fucked it up. See, just call it Atlanta. Whatever. We'll get the Echo. We'll get the EchoPark at some point. They can fuck off, with all due respect. I'll go ahead and tell you right now, and you might call me insane. You might go ahead and turn the program off when I say this. I'm not betting on Austin Hill. Ain't happening. Not bet on Austin Hill. My favorite bet. My favorite bet out of everybody in terms of outrights, which for this, I might only do outrights. I might consider a top 3 on like Nick Sanchez if I can get 6-1, 7-1. I don't think that's available on most of the books that I use. But my favorite outright's Eric Almirola. He was brought here to win races at Joe Gibbs Racing. He was brought here at the super speedways, especially Atlanta, to dethrone the RCR guys. And he was a lap away from doing it. Made a pass for the lead on the white flag. Didn't work out. You know, the way this track flows, the bottom lane, if you don't have extra help on the bottom lane, you just cannot sustain you just can't sustain your run. You just can't sustain the speed that the top line can. And Austin Hill ended up prevailing. You just can't stay on top forever, man. You cannot stay on top forever. I don't think Austin Hill's going to win this race. I don't think Jesse Love's going to win this race. Be sure to record this and talk shit to me. Post it on Twitter if I'm wrong. Can't do it. You cannot stay on top forever. Eric Almirola with Joe Gibbs Racing. This guy was brought here to dethrone the RCR guys at the drafting tracks. He almost did it earlier this year. I think he's going to do it this weekend. Eric Almirola, 12-1 over on FanDuel. Great line. Or 11-1. I think 12-1 was available. I'm kind of hoping that hangs in there. 11 to 1's fine, by the way. Yeah, because I mean, once again, BetMGM is a good place to see kind of where the money is, because he's 7 to 1 on BetMGM. Clearly, he has been bet down there. I mean, it could be a fucking $10 bet at BetMGM. They are so sensitive. It is insane. So Eric Almirola, 11 to 1, best line I've seen out of the books that I use. Definitely worth it. I'd bet down a 9 to 1 for Almirola. He's gonna be in the mix. So Eric Almirola, I'm gonna have 6 outrights total. Almirola, Sammy Smith, back in that 8 car. Won at Talladega last fall. Been so at Atlanta, but I'm going with the gut. Sammy Smith hasn't had the best year. This is kind of an equalizer for a guy in junior motorsports equipment that should run up front here. One thing about Atlanta relative to Dega and Daytona, the good handling cars kind of pull away at Atlanta. You get some chaos. Parker Retzlaff earlier this year had a shot to win in the 4 car with Alpha Prime, got wrecked out of turn 2 with a white flag. You're gonna have a few underdogs that have an opportunity, but if it goes green and you get a long green flag run, the better cars do kind of ease away from the field. So I do like the idea of betting on the best cars. If you get 16 to 1 for JRM guy Sammy Smith, I'm taking it. Now I think 19 to 1. Yes, 19 to 1's available over on FanDuel. FanDuel has just crazy good lines right now. So I'm on Sammy Smith. I'm on Sam Mayer, both 19 to 1. Sam Mayer, that line's crazy to me. I know he's wreckers or checkers, especially at these super speedway drafting tracks. Sam Mayer, the Haas guys, the Fords are going to be in the fight. No question about it. Sam Mayer is going to have a shot to win. 19 to 1. Great line. Sheldon Creed, go ahead, grill me. This is a great place to get that first win. 17 to 1 over on FanDuel. He's going to be in the conversation. He is going to be in the conversation. I already think RCR is not going to win. So who's the next man up? Almirola with Gibbs, Haas factory team with Mayer and Creed, or maybe a JRM guy. So Sheldon Creed's going to be on the card. Sticking with the Ford camp, Ryan Sieg. They've been good enough here at Atlanta. Have almost won here before. They're going to be in the conversation like these other guys. 24 to 1 over on FanDuel, I think, is a good line for Ryan Sieg. And I think the value guy here, the best underdog play is Nick Sanchez. He got his first Craftsman Truck Series win at a drafting track at Daytona 2024. He's been very aggressive at a variety of different racetracks in 2025 as a rookie in the series with Big Machine Racing, who, by the way, is basically the premier RCR satellite team. So they're going to have a good car. They're going to be fast. Nick Sanchez has done enough throughout 2025 to warrant an outright play at 25 to 1. I'd love to bet his top. I'm going to check ESPN bet. I'm not going to be able to use it, but for your reference, if I could get a top 3 on Nick Sanchez at, oh, hold on a second, my bad. Check out our friends over at advance.gg, promo code Dale at checkout. 10% off. If I could get a top 3 on Nick Sanchez at like 6 to 1, 7 to 1. Oh God, ESPN is plus 750. If you can get more than 4.5 cents down, which I know they're terrible on limiting. Nick Sanchez plus 750 for a top 3. Really like that line. 4 to 1 for a top 5. Like that line too. I think Nick Sanchez, all these plays are basically underdog plays. You're getting guys at 17 to 1 outright. That's an underdog play, even though it's a JRM guy or it's a Haas factory team guy. But Nick Sanchez, 25 to 1 outright. And if you get a good top 3 line, love Nick Sanchez for the race tonight. Love, love, love. So that's what I got. That's what I got. Now I feel like I'm going to jinx myself because I ended that with love, 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 like Jesse Love. Nope, can't do it. RCR, I've already made up my mind. RCR is not winning tonight. You just cannot stay on top forever. Something has to go wrong eventually. Can't do it. So Xfinity, 6 drivers. Sammy Smith, Sam Mayer, Sheldon Creed, Ryan Sieg, Nick Sanchez, and Eric Almirola. My 6 guys I'm rolling with for the Xfinity Series on Friday night. Now let's move on to Cup. Cup's going to be pretty heavy. I feel really confident about the guys that I'm going to be betting on, and I'll give you the best lines available that hopefully will hang around in time. You guys know I bet some of the same guys at the drafting tracks, the guys that run up front the most, the guys that lead the most laps, and I'm going right back to Ryan Blaney. He's been so good at Atlanta. Plus 850 over on FanDuel is worth it. 8-1's worth it in my mind. I don't think you're going to see much line movement with Cup. If you see line movement, it's going to be with Team Penske, Front Row Motorsports, which is Todd Gilliland, Noah Gragson, Zane Smith, because they're going to own qualifying like they typically do. So if you see any line movement, it's going to be with the Penske guys and FRM because of how good they are in qualifying. With that being said, I think there's potential for Blaney to move down to 7-1 by the time qualifying's over before green flag. Logano, same territory, 8-1 potentially. Austin Cindric, I've seen 9-1 to 11-1 for Cindric. Maybe he moves down a little bit as well. So, and then the FRM guys, if they qualify up front, Todd Gill and Zane Smith, they might cut from 50-1, 80-1 range down to 30-1, 60-1. So I'm not betting on the FRM guys, but my point here is I don't think there's no practice. It's just qualifying and then the race because it's a drafting track. I'm not super concerned about line movement. I'm not super concerned about CLV because it's pretty straight up for this EchoPark, Speedway, Quaker State 400, Walmart, shit, whatever. But I'm on Ryan Blaney. I'm on Joey Logano. Typically, I don't like betting Logano at these drafting tracks as much because he's pretty snake bitten. If there's one that he's been good at and able to finish, it's Atlanta. He's won here twice, including last fall where I was in attendance and it sucked. So I'm prepared. We're betting on Joey Logano because I'm going to be at the race and nobody runs a fun time at the track like Joey Lame Gano. Penske could run the show here on Saturday night, so I will be prepared. Joey Logano 10-1 to go with a Blaney 8.5-1 ticket. I'm back on Brad Keselowski. You get 16-1, available on multiple books, DraftKings, FanDuel, I believe, maybe BetMGM. 15-1 on FanDuel actually, so scratch that. But 16-1 on DraftKings is fine. Brad K. What do I have to say? Last race on TNT, summer 2014, was won by Brad Keselowski. And now we're back on TNT this weekend, back to back. Brad Keselowski, back-to-back wins. He's going for the repeat. I'm on it. I still think about spring 2023 at Atlanta when he gave up the lead to Logano on the white flag and literally killed my soul. I was at that race too, so I love the speed they had at Pocono. I feel like even though they had a terrible pit call with Jeremy... Fuck you, Logano. Even though they had a terrible pit call with Jeremy Bolins and they've had strategy not go their way when they have had speed, I like the momentum. I do like the momentum of them actually being competitive enough to win. Brad Keselowski, arguably the best driver in the draft in the NASCAR Cup Series outside of Denny Hamlin. But Atlanta has been kind of back and forth for these guys and not as good recently. I think they right the ship and they're in a conversation to win. For Brad Keselowski, I'm probably betting his top 3, 5-1 on BetMGM. Man, I just think he's going to be in prime potential to lead a bunch of laps and score the victory on Saturday night. So I'm on Brad Keselowski. Moved to the Chevy camp. Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott, another guy that's been running up front maybe hasn't had that winning speed. Look at this as the equalizer to finally get back to victory lane, when they've had great cars here. They've run up front. They've won here before. Chase Elliott gonna be in the conversation on Saturday night. I expect them to be extremely aggressive in pursuit of that first win of 2025. I love that line at 18-1. Ross Chastain, same boat. They've been very good at Atlanta. Almost won here in 2022. Almost won here this spring. And they were pushing their teammate Daniel Suarez, or his teammate Daniel Suarez, in the waning laps of this race last fall. So multiple times in the Gen 7 era, you look up and Ross Chastain is running in the top 5, in the top 3, with a big shot to win. Earlier this spring, he was leading the bottom lane, and Hocevar shipped him out and took the opportunity to win himself, which Chastain was pissed about, but Hocevar made a good move. My point here is Chastain, you see him running up front in these Atlanta races. He eventually, you feel like he's going to break through. 25-1. Come on. Yeah, I'm there. And then I think you got to take a stab at Hocevar again. You got to feel like the chip's on his shoulder after almost winning here. Spring 2025. Still looking for that first win. He's been so fast. 25-1 for Hocevar, I think, is good enough to warrant a bet there as well. And then Bubba Wallace, I think, is worth a bet too. You want a good stage bet. The stage outright, it's like stage 1, stage 2. I've been on this train so many times before. I haven't really dabbled in stage bets as much this year because the markets have really had a big hold on shrinking the favorites who typically win. But betting Team Penske and Bubba Wallace for the stages. I love the aggression level of Bubba. He's been very good at Atlanta. His line, depending on where he qualifies, 8-1, 10-1, 15-1, stage 1 and stage 2. Love it. I love how aggressive Bubba Wallace is in the draft. He won a dual race earlier this year. He's been the top finishing Toyota multiple times at Atlanta before. He was the top finishing Toyota at Talladega earlier this year. So Bubba, worth a play on the outright, maybe a stage prop, and top Toyota. So that's where I'm going to go here. I'm going back to the top Toyota. I don't change much at my super speedway betting strategy. If you watch Daytona Talladega, like, I bet the top Toyota. I mean, there's only 8 of them. There's only 8 Toyotas in the field. So looking at DraftKings, which right now BetMGM in Mississippi at least does not have props yet. Typically they have pretty good lines on the manufacturer props, but for whatever reason they don't have them. DraftKings does. Bella's the favorite at 3-1. Denny Hamlin 3.5-1. Reddick 4.5-1. If you go just look through the top Toyota catalog at Atlanta Motor Speedway since 2022, you've got Truex as a top finishing Toyota. Kurt Busch, Reddick's been a top Toyota. Bubba's been a top Toyota. Denny's been a top Toyota. It's just very, very. There's just been a lot of parity in this at the super speedways and Atlanta in particular. A lot of parity. So I just don't feel like betting the favorites, which are Bell, Hamlin, Reddick, and Briscoe, is necessary. I'm going to take the next 4 guys underneath them. Bubba Wallace, 5.5-1. Remember, top Toyota earlier this year at Dega has been the top Toyota before at Atlanta. Like, we're continuing to just forget how good of a drafting guy, a drafting track racer that Bubba Wallace is. Plus 550. Yes, I'm on it for sure. I'm going to take Ty Gibbs. I said I was done with Ty Gibbs last weekend. You know, I feel like there's a juju thing here where I need to bet on Ty Gibbs for something, because every time I say I'm done with the driver, I'm tired of betting on them, they're fucking killing me, they come out and then they win and piss me off. So I'm not going to bet on Ty Gibbs to win the race, but I am going to take that top Toyota line at 9-1. He can come out here and be the top Toyota. You get one wreck and you take out the favorites, 3 of the favorites. I mean, just play the numbers game here. And how often the top Toyota is a different driver year by year at Atlanta and Daytona and Talladega. So Ty Gibbs 9-1, Eric Jones 10-1. I love Eric Jones at the drafting tracks. Love him. Should have won a duel earlier this year. Top 10 of the Daytona 500. He has done enough to warrant betting a top Toyota line at 10-1. For reference, his top 5 line, his best top 5 line is like 8-1. Just do the math. It doesn't even make sense to bet the top 5 line. Bet the top Toyota, because he could be fucking, I think one year here, or it may have been Talladega earlier this year, or I think Bubba was the top Toyota in like 9th place. I think Denny Hamlin one year at Atlanta, when all the Toyotas kept crashing, I think it was fall 2023, by the way, the race that got rain shortened. Denny Hamlin was the top Toyota, and he finished like fucking 14th. Look it up. I mean, it's just right there in front of us. And look, yeah, it may not. I mean, this could be the year maybe Denny Hamlin. I mean, Bell won the race earlier this year. I don't think he's going to go back to back. Denny's a good enough drafting track guy that he's a threat. It could change. It could be a favorite that hits the top Toyota. But I'm telling you, these guys are good enough, especially Bubba Wallace and Eric Jones, to warrant betting these prices. Play the numbers game, play the math. And then I'm going to bet John Hunter Nemechek too, who's had some really good runs as of recent, has had some moments at the drafting tracks. Few top 5s, or top 5 here, few top 10s there. Nemechek 14-1 for top Toyota. Once again, his top 5 is like 10-1. His top Toyota 14-1. So to beat 33 other drivers and get a top 5, he's 10-1. To beat 7 drivers, or 8 drivers, excuse me, there's 9 total Toyotas. To beat 8 drivers, 14-1. Do the math. You get one big wreck. You take out a bunch of the favorites. I say the same thing every time, by the way, when we do the top Toyota prop at the super speedways. That's going to be probably the heart of my card, is the top Toyota prop. So I'm on it. I love Bubba Wallace this weekend on that front. But take 4 of the 9 top Toyotas and you've got almost a 50%. I don't trust Riley Herbst, so in my mind, I've got a 50% shot. I don't trust Riley Herbst with anything yet in the NASCAR Cup Series. So in my mind, I bet those 4 dogs, I got a 50% shot to win top Toyota. So recapping one more time, I'm on Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Carson Hocevar outright, maybe a Bubba Wallace outright at 28-1. That just feels crazy. A Brad Keselowski top 3, 5-1, and then top Toyota, Bubba Wallace, Ty Gibbs, Eric Jones, John Hunter Nemechek. So that's what I got. Once again, abbreviated episode of Dale Center. Hopefully I feel better tomorrow when I get ready to go to Atlanta. I need to, because big weekend ahead. Big weekend ahead. But I've had fucking just terrible food poisoning. So appreciate you guys for watching. If I help you win some money, like, share, subscribe. I posted a betting update on Thursday, which is, I guess, technically still today. I'm technically recording this on Friday, but it's after midnight. Xfinity's been incredible. Cup just continues to be so. We're green in all 3 NASCAR National Series, but Xfinity is definitely carrying us. We're 58 units in the green in 2025 on Xfinity, which has been ridiculous on the profitability. ROIs off the charts. Best year ever in Xfinity so far. Shout out Connor Zillage. So at Pocono, if you want to subscribe to the Dub Club, the Dale Club, join us. Link below in the description. That is where I'm going to post all my bets on Friday morning. And once again, qualifying is not going to be important for Atlanta in my mind, so that's going to be it. And I'm going to be in Georgia, so I'm not going to be able to, for trucks, what I might do is do a write-up and tell you, hey, this is what I would bet if I could. I won't add it to my unit count because I'm not going to have my money on it, but I'm going to be thin on being able to bet while I'm in Georgia, at least for Lime Rock. I don't care about Xfinity or Cup. Nothing's going to change. But for Lime Rock, there could be some post qualifying movement and opportunities. So what I might do is give a write up on what I would bet for trucks to help you guys out on that front. Just know I'm not going to be betting it because I'm in Georgia. But for Xfinity and Cup, what you're going to see on Friday morning, that's going to be everything. Now, if I do a parlay, you'll see that too. We talked about parlays last week. If I did a parlay, what would I do? What would I do? What would I do? We got time. We can make something real quick. If I did a parlay, ladies and gentlemen, DraftKings has these top 10s. Let's go Bubba Wallace top 10. That's where I'd like to start. We'll go Bubba Wallace top 10. Xfinity, I want Eric Almirola top 3. Best friends, by the way. Almirola, Bubba Wallace. Best friends, parlay them together. And then trucks. I'd either want to do, you could do both. You could do a Heim win and a Mozak top 5. I don't hate that. That'd be 41-1 right there. Right there. 41-1. Now, what if you got freaky and did like a, I had a big round robin last week that included Connor Zilich, 8.5-1 at Pocono. What if we got a little, let's go Annunziata top 5. We'll go Mozak top 3. Forget the Corey Heim win. Let's not take a risk on that. Then we'll go to Xfinity. Let's do a Sam Mayer top 3. And then we'll go to Cup. Let's get rid of the Bubba top 10. Let's do a top 5 for Ross Chastain. $100 wins you 52 grand for this parlay. That could be a good little round robin sweat. Maybe we'll add a top 10 to that to give you another leg. Eric Jones 2-1. I actually don't hate that top 10 line for him. 2-1. Then maybe we'll run a top 3 with. I'm going to be at the race, so Joey Logano is going to have a good run. Look at that. Nunziata, Mozak, Mayer, Chastain, Eric Jones, Joey Logano. $100 wins 555 grand. That could be a fun round robin sweat. You'd have to, round robin, you got to put more down, obviously. But let's see, 35, 50, 56. This would be like a 3 minimum, because typically books will only let you do a $5 minimum per parlay, which this is per parlay right here. Two pick, 3 pick, 4 pick, 5 picks. So this would be 56 times 5, like a $330 total parlay right here. And if you hit 3 of these, I think you would win. You would profit. If you went 3 for 6 here, you'd profit. But that's the tough part. So I wanted to make sure I gave you guys a few little fun sweat type of parlay options that we'll see if I'll play with them. Once again, shout out to our friends over at advanced.gg. Shout out to Grid Rival. Check that out. Use promo code Dale using that link below to play Grid Rival's very, very fun picks game where you can pick over-unders for fantasy points, for finishing positions, and have great multiplying payouts. Grid Rival, use promo code Dale to get a 100% deposit matching bonus up to $100 and play Grid Rival today. Of course, our friends over at Advance, you saw that flyer. Promo code Dale to get 10% off your premium performance supplement today. And that's all I got. I'll have some content this weekend. Be looking forward to it. Going to my first Braves game Friday night, so we got the helmet. Can't wait for that. Everybody enjoy the weekend. Hopefully I'll see you guys out there on Saturday at EchoPark Speedway. Got it right that time. I'm sure we'll fuck it up some more, but hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Excited for a Saturday night race. Don't forget trucks at Lime Rock Saturday afternoon. And by the time you see this, Xfinity is going to be race day. So Xfinity Friday night. Going to be a really, really fun weekend. So thank you guys for watching. If I help you win some money, like, share, subscribe. Have a great weekend and good luck.